today we're with Ashley Vaughan. She is the
Senior Development Manager of Host Accounts.
guys. So she's with Brendan Vacations. So one of my favorite, you guys, if you follow me on any sort of social media, you know I love Outlander. And so Scotland and Ireland is one of her specialties, her company specialty. So Ashley, tell me about Brendan.
Brendan is an Ireland and Scotland specialist, so we like to say if it wears a kilt, it travels with Brendan. Pretty easy, right? And we specialize in those two countries. We have an office in Dublin. We've been sending...
Do you have an actual office in Dublin?
An actual office in Dublin, and our office is really cool because it's the house of Oscar Wilde's aunt. So it's a historical property. It's a beautiful building right on Marion Square. It's awesome.
So I've been doing this a long time. None of the TOs have an actual office over there.
It's true. It's true. And we organize vacations throughout Ireland and Scotland. And because we only focus on the two different areas, we actually have several different styles of travel. So you could do guided vacations with a local travel director. You can do private chauffeur vacations with a private driver. You can do self-drive where we give you a car and we unleash you on the Scottish and the Irish people.
Do I have insurance on that?
You have full insurance. And then we also do locally hosted rail trips as well as golf vacations. So some of our itineraries are themed, like Outlander or Game of Thrones.
Is it Home of Thrones?
Home of Thrones is our independent one, and we do have Game of Thrones experiences in some of our guided trips as well.
So are these the themed ones? So Home of Thrones, Outlander, although Harry Potter, I think you also have.
Yes, we do a Harry Potter trip.
Is that there?
That is in England.
So that's in England. So are those movie-based or book-based?
Combination of both, actually. So it's going to be some filming sets, like when we do the Game of Thrones, we actually go to Castle Ward. People get to put on the costumes, shoot the bows and arrows.
I'm wearing a carpet.
Exactly. And then on our Outlander
IKEA
trip,
carpet, FYI.
on the Outlander trip, you actually go to some of the sites that are related to the book and where they filmed the TV show.
Jamie Fraser.
He rises out of the mist and the heather in northern Scotland.
It could be. We don't know. Tell me about golf.
There's golf. Yep. Ireland and Scotland, they argue over who created golf. And so there's tons of great courses. The British Open, or the Open as they call it now, is played there in different courses all the time. There's tons of different golf tournaments, but we actually put together golf packages, and we'll do everything except for your shoes. You got to bring your own shoes. But we will arrange tee times, caddies, carts, whatever they need, clubs, so that you can go out and golf. And we have a golf price versus a non-golf price. So
that was my next question. What if I just want to ride in the cart and Kenny?
You don't even have to ride in the cart. You could go off to the spa and Kenny can go golf. So you can have those trips where people are doing separate things as well. And then we also have other themed trips. So if you like hiking and you like outdoors things, Ireland and Scotland are great for those destinations. So there's whale watching off of the Aran Islands. There are amazing rope bridges. There are lighthouses. There's some of the most beautiful scenery in the world is in the coastline of Ireland and Scotland. So tons of outdoor stuff to do. It's also the home of the most literary Pulitzer or Nobel Prize winners. There are more Nobel Prize winners for literature in Ireland than any other country.
Is that true?
It is true. So it's a tiny island with a lot of creative people.
Wow.
But you can go and hear about Yeats and Oscar Wilde and Robbie Burns and all of these great writers, and you can do a literary tour around as well. So that's really cool too.
That sounds fantastic. But what if my interests are, not that they would be, what if they lean towards
food and wine?
Food and wine.
So one of the things that I think people confuse is culinary. And they think that Ireland and Scotland food is like England food, that it's real bland or it's overboiled. And what they don't...
Not that England food is bland and overboiled.
It is not anymore.
It's just an idea they have in their head.
What people don't realize is back in the 80s, the Irish government actually started subsidizing people to get education in culinary. They were building up the tourism. So people who were going to culinary school were required to spend a year in France, Italy, and some of the more traditional culinary techniques. And they brought those techniques back to Ireland, and then they started using local ingredients. So you have a lot of people who are now using things that are very much traditional to Ireland and putting it into like a French culinary technique. And you have some of the most amazing restaurants in the world now are in Dublin and Galway and all across the Irish coastline. So really fantastic food. And of course, wine is not big in Ireland and Scotland, but there is whiskey and there is Guinness. So lots of things to drink.
What if I want to just do you have a sort of themed Guinness or a themed whiskey?
We do. In Scotland, we do the Scottish whiskey trip because drinking and driving is never a good idea. So we'll give you a private driver and we will take you to all of these different distilleries so you can enjoy the Scottish whiskey, which is a pretty cool trip.
What about if I just want to throw it all up to God and say, please get me there and I want to drive myself?
So the self-drives are really great for that because you can plan each day what you want to do.
You don't want to do that. You don't. You want to have a guide, but in case you're just crazy, you can.
I always say if it's your first trip, do a guided vacation because it's going to give you a great insight. And if you want to add on a couple of extra days to go off and explore on your own, we can do that. We can
Which
do a
side of the
combination.
street do they drive on?
They drive on the other side.
The other side.
Which is a little scary. And they don't have easements. You know, in the U.S. we have these nice shoulders. They don't have shoulders in Ireland.
So if you're the
and Scotland.
passenger, it's scary.
It's a little scary.
It's on the other thing.
But that's what adventure is all about, is a little bit of fear, right? So you drive around.
Find me in the spa having a Guinness.
You drive around, you enjoy yourself, but you know what's great about Ireland and Scotland? It's perfect for self-drives because they're two destinations that don't have a ton of stuff that you go to see. It's not like London where you could spend a week there and still not see everything.
Or you could get mugged like me.
But you can do the self-drive vacation because it's all about the people, the place, and the pace. It's a slow pace. People kind of move at their own speed. They're really friendly.
Is it like island time or is it a little bit different?
It's a little bit more strict than island time, but they are moving at their own pace for sure. Think about going into a tiny town where everybody gets together at the pub at the end of the day and they're all sharing their experiences. And then you come in as a traveler and you're talking about the next place you want to go and they overhear it and they're going to come and they're going to tell you all the great places they think
That's
you should
a true
visit.
story. Hashtag true story because we were there and one of the guides, he wasn't even our guide and he was like, oh, let me tell you, you have to go here. He's like, you have a pen? No, I have a pen. He wrote it down. He said, you got to go here, you got to go here, you got to go here, you got to eat here. What do you like? Blah, blah, blah. We had a whole itinerary before we left.
Because they're so friendly and they're so passionate and they're so happy about where they're from. So they want to share it. And that's why self-drive vacations are amazingly perfect for Ireland and Scotland.
Oh my God. It's Ireland and Scotland. You guys have to go right now. Don't delay. All right, Ashley. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.